It's been a while since I last made a trailer analysis video, especially for a Pixar film. But the Onward trailer came out last night and I am beyond excited. Not only did they cast Star-Lord and Spider-Man to play the two main characters, but just like, when did we last get an original Pixar film? Like, Coco. That was years ago. I don't even remember it coming out. It was like 2017. Ancient history. It's all about Onward now, and there is so much to unpack from this trailer. Ignore the fact this is my shortest video in ages. Opens up by setting the scene of where the film's going to take place. And I'm not going to lie to you, with Pixar's track record of human world-based stories, this almost doesn't feel like a Pixar film. It's set in what once was, in the times of old, a medieval magical world. And I think the aim of the trailer is to set the precedent that this was a beautiful world when it was in its element. But times change, and that's when we hit the present day where the actual film is taking place, showing what can only be described as a technologically advanced society of elves, centaurs, trolls, mermaids, gnomes, and satyrs? That's what they're called, right? Like, I'm sorry, it's been a while since I read Percy Jackson, but I know a satyr when I see one.
Satyr.
I'm still not sure I'm pronouncing it right. And these creatures all seem to be living in what can only be described as a mirror image of our world. It isn't our world, or even remotely a human world. They make that very clear. But I do gather from the first 20 seconds of the trailer that the message of the film is very much going to be about how the growth of technology and time spent on our phones is taking away from the magic of the real world. Is it too soon to predict that? Probably, but it seems pretty spelt out. The first thing we see is a plane and then some sort of mushroom tower, revealing the name of the town is New Mushroomton. Okay. They have these mushroom houses with satellites and telephone lines and cars. Is it clear what the message of the film is yet? And then a newspaper gets thrown on a doorstep with the headline Centaur Gallup poll results, and we meet the first character. And the second. We meet quite a few characters actually. A troll doing tolls under a bridge. God, name and shame. Who came up with that? And then after a bit of gnome child labor, God, we meet the main character, whose name I actually know, Ian Lightfoot. They don't actually say it, but if you put subtitles on, they reveal it, and I don't really know how I came across that, but I did. So Ian is this teenage elf who, with his very first scene, implements the whole everyone's on their phones and not appreciating the real world message. Also, did I mention, it's not the human world, it's a mystical one. Yeah. He gets home to be greeted by his pet dragon, because I guess dragons are subbing in for dogs in this film, despite the fact they can breathe fire. That just seems like a very dangerous pet to have. Like, are mushrooms flammable? I've genuinely just googled, are mushrooms flammable? Like, I don't know why I'm taking this so seriously. I mean, you can have whatever pet you want. I don't want to be that guy, but it just seems like an accident waiting to happen. Technology won't seem like your biggest problem when your pet burns down your house now, will it? I think we can guarantee that definitely won't happen in the film now because it doesn't fit their agenda, but I'm speaking pure facts right now. Please don't stop using technology. Your views are the only thing in the world that makes me happy. Which brings us to the end of the trailer, where we meet Barley Lightfoot, who's just instantly the goofy big brother figure Chris Pratt is made for. He receives a bit of a telling off from his younger brother Ian for leaving the lid off the bins, causing the rubbish to be eaten by wild unicorns who seem to be taking the place of foxes and raccoons in this world, which is an interesting take on unicorns. And the trailer ends with them driving off and Barley saying,
"We're going on a grand and glorious quest!"
only for Ian to shoot it down and...
It's not a quest, it's just a really fast and strange errand.
I really like the brotherly dynamic here because it's clear they're two very different people, but it's still like best friends, and I feel like they'll rub off on each other really well, and yeah, that's it. That's the entire trailer. We don't know what the errand they've got to do is, and the description of the film doesn't really tell us anything new. Just set in a suburban fantasy world, Disney and Pixar's Onward introduces two teenage elf brothers who embark on an extraordinary quest to discover if there's still a little magic left out there. So I'm guessing while they're doing this errand, they uncover something magical, maybe like this staff, because it's in the poster, so it's gotta mean something. Maybe it's like a wizard staff, because Pixar's tweets seem to imply there was something to do with a wizard in this film. I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm also pretty sure the plot is going to revolve around Ian and Barley having a dead dad because, well, firstly, there's a lack of a father figure in the house, just a mum and a dragon. And more conclusively, the director Dan Scanlon specifically said when talking about how he came up with the idea of the film, "When I was a year old, my father passed away. I don't remember him and neither does my brother, who was 3 at the time. Until one day when he and his brother were teenagers, a relative came across and showed them a sound recording of their late father, which was the first time he ever heard him speak. And because he's always wondered who his father was, that question became the blueprint of the movie." So you could pretty much tell this film is going to tear your heart out and stamp on it in front of you. That's what Pixar do best. And honestly, I'm just really excited for Dan Scanlon to get another chance at directing a Pixar movie because I love Monsters University and it was severely underrated by all of you. He also directed Monsters University, by the way, if that wasn't clear. And I'm just excited he's now getting the chance to tell his own original story, and if it's anywhere near as good as Monsters University, I'll be delighted. But you probably don't care about all that. I know what you're thinking. This film looks very different to all Pixar's other films. It's clearly taking place in a different world. It looks Could this be it? Does this mark the end? Are Pixar debunk? No. I can't even fathom the words to say it. Will this break the Pixar theory?